welcome back to my YouTube channel. I have not posted on here for like a bajillion years, but that's neither here nor there. I just want to show you guys all the books that I picked up within the last 2 weeks. This year I'm going to be so good with not buying books, guys. I'm only going to buy books if they're on my TBR and I'm actively reading them. That's it. I'm not going to buy books this year. But one of the books I picked up is Why Am I So Clever by Friedrich Nietzsche. I read a few of Nietzsche's works last year in 2025. I don't know how I feel about him. I really don't know how I feel about him. I feel like I don't want to say anything controversial, but I don't think he's that great. But I don't think I've read enough of his work to come to that conclusion yet. So I'm not gelling with him at the moment. So I think maybe if I try and read something shorter, I would get it. I don't know. Maybe it's because, I don't know. He comes off a bit preachy so far. I also picked up Plato's Symposium, which is one of the books that I want to read this year. I think as a hopeless romantic, I'm going to enjoy this. I think the idea of two souls that are meant to be one, that are going around the earth searching for each other, is such a beautiful concept. And I'm interested to see how Plato uses different metaphors to kind of illustrate that. So yeah, very excited for this. And then I picked up Stoner by John Williams. A lot of people and their mother have been talking about this book. So many people on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok have been talking about this book. And as a very depressing person, I think I would love this book. I also think it's a very realistic look on life. Like, not everybody has a very like cookie cutter life. Not everybody at the end of their life has a good life. So I don't know. Something tells me I'm going to love this book, given my more depressed manner. So yes. The next book I picked up is Albert Camus' The Stranger. I read The Myth of Sisyphus last year and I fell in love with Albert Camus. I'm actually going to get a tattoo of Sisyphus on my arm later this year. I was supposed to do it before the end of last year, but I got lazy. But yeah, I love Camus, so like based off that one book, so I want to read more of his work to see, where he kind of stands and what his metaphors and philosophies are. But I think he is on the sort of school of thought. And as someone who sees themselves as more on the existential / nihilistic side, I think I might like him. I think I might like this. We'll see. And then a book I picked up because I'm just trying to get into not reading books that I would always just read, is The Fountainhead by Ayn Rand. It was a Penguin classic, and I was like, I might like it. Also a female writer, so I was like, I'm gonna pick it up. If I don't like it, I don't like it. If I do, great. And I got it on sale for $100, so a win is a win. The next book I picked up is Anthony Berger's A Clockwork Orange. Again, one of those books that I wouldn't necessarily pick for myself, but I'm interested to see how it goes. I have no thoughts. I just picked it up. Also loved the cover art, so very excited for that. And then an author that I've seen a lot of people talk about is Saul Bellow. But I've never heard of him until I think I watched Melissa's vlog last week and she mentioned him and I was like, okay. And I saw two of his works at bargain books for $70 and $100. And again, Penguin Classics for that price, don't tell me twice. And a lot of people have stated that the victim kind of gives like a Dostoevsky kind of like take, and his writing is very kin of that. So I'm very excited to get into these. I think these are my most anticipated books of 2025 so far. And then the last two books that I picked up this year are The Devil by Dostoevsky. I read Crime and Punishment last year and loved it. So I was like, oh, okay, this book was 128 rand at exclusive books. So I was like, I'll pick up anything he writes, give it to me, I'll read it. And last but not least, Capital by Karl Marx. I read the Communist Manifesto, reread it last year. And although I don't see myself as a communist, I think I'm more on the socialist spectrum. There were some interesting ideas in there, and I think the older I get, I find it very important to be able to articulate my thoughts and my point of views. And I don't necessarily think I'm very good at that yet. So a friend recommended that I get this, and it was on sale for 160 rand, so I picked it up. Okay, I think that's it for the book haul section of this video. Let's get into the books that I want to read in 2026, sorry. So this year I've kind of categorized my reading into philosophy, literary fiction, and romance slash like fantasy, which is me just trying to diversify my reading because I'm not necessarily someone who reads a lot of like different authors or different writings. So I'm trying to like force myself to get out of my shell a little bit. Ooh. Okay, so I wrote them down. Why am I like squinting back to you guys? Okay, so for philosophy, I want to read Sophie's World, The Unbearable Lightness of Being, The Stranger by Albert Camus, Plato's Symposium, and Nausea by Jean-Paul Sartre. And then for literary fiction, I want to read The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. I read The Secret History last year, and I fell in love with Donna Tartt. I also think, obviously within The Secret History, they reference the Iliad and the Odyssey, and I think the Iliad is being turned into a movie at the moment. So I need to read the Iliad as well this year. Never Let Me Go by Ishiguro. Sorry, and Beloved by Toni Morrison. And then the romantic slash supernatural side. I'm a huge Twilight fan, as you can see. My bookshelves are a mess at the moment, but I will get to them. I'm a huge Twilight fan, so I'm very excited to try and like just diversify my strange and unusual reads. I want to read The Discovery of Witches. I'm a huge fan of witches. Anything that has witchy anything, count me in. The Discovery of Witches, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, Shadow and Bone, and The Historian. And then a few like extra books I really want to get to this year are The Plague by Albert Camus, The Book of Disquiet by Fernando Pessoa, Stoner by John Williams, White Noise by Don DeLeo. I think there's a few more that I wanted to get to, but I'm not sure. I don't necessarily always have a set in stone like reading goal for the year because I don't want to like give myself like pressure unnecessarily. So if I read a book a month, I'm so proud of myself. If I don't, that's also so okay. Let me know what books you guys are reading this year, what you're excited to read, what you are anticipating getting released this year. Yeah, I really wish I was more of a romance reader because I think a few Emily Henry books are getting turned into movies, but I can't. And I do have her books on my shelf, and I'm going to try and get back into romance this year because I started off as a romance reader and I turned into a nihilist. So there's that. Thank you guys. Bye.